Merry Christmas!
Merry,
Hey! Look at the red
Merry
nose. Merry
Christmas.
Christmas.
I'm Rudolph today, you guys.
Happy holidays, everyone. I'm an ornament.
I love the flashing red nose.
Maybe I'm a tree topper. You know what I'm saying? Where you be on the top of the
There you
tree.
go. There you
Well,
go.
you
Yeah.
kind of
Top of
look
the
like,
tree.
what's that, the Statue of Liberty? You know how she got the crown
Wow, I do look like the Statue of Liberty. Good
on?
observation, Karen. Thank you.
Hey, you guys, welcome to the show. Welcome to Can We Talk Sports? Hey, you guys, this is going to be a phenomenal show. It is the end of season 2. We asked you guys to go and like and share this video. If you know any sports moms, any sports grandmothers, any sports uncles and aunties, tell them about Can We Talk Sports, you guys. Like and share this video. If you're on YouTube, go and hit the notification button. We need you guys to support us, and we're so happy to be able to bring you all the information that we bring to you and all the guests that we bring on Can We Talk Sports. And I am Karen, and I am a community sports moms because I love all our kids in our community and I support them all. I'm a business owner. I own a tax business called Corefast Tax, and it's almost tax season, so get your taxes, your bookkeeping in order. And I'm a wife and I got kids and all that good stuff.
Well, I'm Carmen, aka Mama D. I'm a sports mom, sports aunt. Like Karen, I support the community. Trinity Christian, they'll always be my kids. I am a wife of 33 years, almost 34 years, and a mom of 3 amazing kids. They're all grown now. They're not even kids. They're adults, young adults. And yeah, I wear several hats in business. So yeah, that's me, AKA Mama D.
And I'm Irisha, aka Icy Fashion. Um, I'm a fashion designer, a football mom, um, entrepreneur. I make custom wedding gowns, prom gowns. So if you're from prom, will be here soon. Book me. I ship. I book. I take customers all over. I'm also a community mom, and I'm a football mom of a college student, former college student in NFL, as well as I'm a mom of 2 girls. One's in the music industry, and one's in the catering business. You can follow me on Instagram, Icy's Fashion. Icy Fashion LLC, as well as on Facebook. It's spelled ISY as Izzy, but it's Icy.
All right, you guys. I am so happy about tonight. I'm so happy. We started this second season August the 17th, and we have had so many wonderful people on the show. Our producer, JQ, she has taken this show to a whole nother level. And I'm just so excited that we're coming to the end of the second season. I'm just excited about next year and where we're going. Let's name some of our guests. We had a mother and a son on the show, Carissa and Joshua. We had pro soccer player, pro hockey players. We have black girl hockey. We're going to hockey one day.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
So we have, you know what? I'm just, just me sharing my own personal information. You guys can share yours too. But this season, this season for me was for the show is anything is possible because it was a lot of different people and me just sending out emails and I wasn't fearful of sending them out. And a lot of people just said yes. Some people just want to be asked and they will just do it. And so I just see this season, second season, that nothing is impossible. Anything is possible if you just ask. So that is kind of like what I'm going into 2022 about, that all things are possible for Can We Talk Sports, and we just have to continue to keep it going. And one day that fire is going to light, and it's going to become a wildfire.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
That's
exciting,
right.
Karen. That's exciting.
Tell me some of your thoughts about season two.
So,
Season two for me was about I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Like it's just been an amazing journey, and I'd never thought I would be in front of a camera, um, let alone doing a podcast, or like this has just been amazing for me. So I know I'm just excited about where the show is going, Karen. I'm excited about all the guests, all the knowledge that I've learned just by interviewing some of the amazing guests. Just
yeah.
learned a lot of good information.
Yeah. I am excited. I think my favorite, I think the kid from SMU with the artist, I mean with the artwork.
Hmm. Hmm.
I
The
really
football
thought,
player.
yes, the football player from SMU who did the artwork, and it showed his other talent. Sometimes they hone in so much on one thing, football all their life, that they don't get to explore their other talents until after it's over with. And it's good that he's able. I thought that was just a good way for guys to say, hey, even while I'm in this
Mhm.
thing, let me pull out another talent, or what else is in me besides football. So I thought that was a very good one.
And I just saw today on the news. I see that SMU, their alumni athletes are pulling together $1 million a year to help the athletes with their branding their name and everything. So
Oh yeah, that's
that's
good.
amazing. Like I hope other schools and other alumni athletes will pull together and support their school like SMU is supporting these kids, because that's an amazing thing.
That
Yeah.
is amazing. You guys, we have an amazing guest on the show. I saw her on Instagram. Her Instagram is Black and Balling, and so she is a writer, and she's a former athlete, and I'm just excited to bring her on the show. You guys stay tuned um, to watch this show. She is going to be an awesome guest, and she's going to bring so much knowledge to us as a former athlete. Hey,
Mhm.
me girl hockey.
Hi.
Yeah, mean girl
I
hockey.
Yes,
saw her a while ago.
yes,
She's faithful.
yes,
Yes,
yes.
Yes.
I can't wait to meet you. I believe we're gonna meet you one day. I believe it.
absolutely.
Exactly. I'd agree. So,
So
yeah.
go ahead, go ahead.
So, did we want to do any y'all want to talk about a hot topic yet, or are we jumping the gun a little bit?
No, you can go on and talk about the hot topic. Go ahead, girl.
Mhm.
Okay. So, looks like I'm the hot topic, a post that I made this week. So, yeah, basically the hot topic, is mainly about how a lot of individuals, it may be coaches, it may be outsiders looking in, maybe mostly male figures, but sometimes it could be mothers that say it too, that's not so involved with making sure their son is okay, and doing, all you're doing is guiding them. Some people think you're babying your son, and um, I think it's sometimes like a stereotype in mothers, not only black mothers. This is a mother of all race. It doesn't necessarily have to be with just football. It's with any sport. So this week I actually made a post because it's just some it's some stuff that happened. So we can look at a video first, and if y'all want to tap into it after that, we can discuss the whole hot topic afterwards.
All right, let's
Y'all want to go
go.
ahead? Let's go.
Yes.
Yes.
My respect and esteem for moms in general is just off the charts because I would not be the person that I am without my mom.
I think when you see a mother's love, you realize that it's just so unique that it can only come from one place, and that's from God.
A mother's love, and from what I see in my wife to our daughter, it's a very strong love, and it's very respectful.
They never stop. Dad, sometimes, at least for me, the house gets loud and my eyes get kind of glazed over and it's like, I need to recharge. Moms don't have that luxury. Moms keep going.
My father wasn't in my life, and so she played many roles. So multitasker and selfless.
Moms have a different level of sacrifice, and they just selflessly serve, day after day after day after day.
God is all-knowing, and there's certainly been instances in the first year of our daughter being alive where I'm searching for answers, and it seems like her as a mom is all-knowing, and she knows the answers. She knows what our daughter needs.
Just a loving, nurturing characters of God where he wants the best for us and he wants us to succeed so bad. I see that with Maria when she looks at the boys when they're going through anything in their day. She wants them to succeed. She wants them to learn. She wants them to develop, and those are the characteristics that I see that God wants for us too.
When I see Amanda and her compassion for other people, it's just reflecting the light of Christ.
I see her being everything to all people, giving everybody what they need, and then literally going into birth, sacrificing her body. I would say that watching Jesus and watching what he did for us, we talk about it in such great light, but he suffered tremendously. But it was necessary, and it was full of love. And so when I think about her being pregnant, going through pregnancy, and then the beauty of life, that's probably when I see most of her character look like Jesus.
Oh man, that's a
I know.
tear
Why am
jerker.
I fighting
A little
back
bit.
tears?
Right.
I'm trying to
Oh,
cry. Somebody's
right.
cutting onions.
Right. Right.
My eyes are raining or whatever they sweating. Yeah.
Wow. We're going out this season with tears about mom. I mean, that was awesome.
Yeah, Carmen, don't make
That
me
was
cry up there,
amazing.
girl. Don't make me
Mm.
cry. So, if we want to touch back on us, I didn't even know when I posted this that this would be a topic for the show, but I guess um just a situation that I was actually I not only feel like I've experienced it with indirect stuff, but I've heard and I've had parents that have talked to me about certain stuff that they maybe have done and asked me, hey, they know I'm so involved. Me and Karen definitely are deep into stuff, even if it's not our kid, we try to help. And they're like, hey, do you think I'm doing too much? Or do you think this is okay to say or not say? Because the last thing, and I know me personally as a parent, last thing I want to do is cross the line even if I'm trying to talk to a coach, whether I know the coach or not. I don't want to come across like in a way where a coach feels like a negative vibe for me when I may just want to be concerned or just getting a little clarity about things. And believe it or not, it's some men, and this is no bash on men at all, but it is some men that do not like to be questioned by a woman.
Yeah.
And really, as a mom, we're not doing that in a sense of I'm trying to question you in an aggressive way. Hey, we just want to know if our sons are in a good space in any
Right.
sports.
Right.
When I say with sons, and I'm mainly relating this to sons because the it's out there like that boys and men, they're not supposed to cry. They're supposed to be tough and they're supposed to be this, that, and the other. But my whole thing is it's true. Girls catch on better and faster than boys when it's time to mature.
Mm-hmm.
They maybe can know how to line up bills the right way. Whatever it is, they can get to going in life a little bit smoother than boys, because most of the time the girls are like doing the domestic stuff around the house. So my thing is, my point that I made, there's some kind of things that comments that are certain made saying parents are doing too much. Oh, she's doing too much. Oh, she's babying her son. All because she may be trying to be present to make sure they don't leave anything out. For example, my son is going through the transfer portal right now. There's some things that he come talk to me about everything and every feeling he has, what he wants, this, that, and the other. But he may talk to another coach that says, well, you need to just go down and do this or go lower or this, that, and the other. But deep down, he like, I want to do this first. I want to give this a shot first. I want to reach for the stars first. And if I fail there, it's not for me, then I want to, I'm not too big for this other level, but I want to be here. So if I'm talking and say, well, this is what he's saying, and they say, well, is it, or do you want it or he wants it? I'm just
Mm,
relaying what my son has said, that for some reason he's intimidated or nervous or whatever to tell you, or maybe even word it right. They just so happy sometimes to get a coach talking to them. So it's like, yes, sir, okay, 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 but you haven't asked the main questions. You know what I'm saying? These are lifelong decisions that people are making when they are these kids are not making a decision to just temporary. This could go determine their future or whatever it is, or a dream that they could have touched. And to me, for people to be out there putting judgment on parents who are just really, they're involved in a sense of guiding, not trying to be aggressive or running it. I use the
right.
example of, if a kid goes to college and he has to play behind a starting quarterback, he's there for the starting quarterback is guiding them, or the quarterback coach is guiding them to teach them the playbook or the skill set. If we're struggling in school, what do? We get our kid tutoring. You're getting guided and tutored before you go into an exam by yourself.
Yeah.
So to me, it's the same technique. I have to guide my kid. This is how you talk. This is what you say. Don't leave. Don't be afraid to say this. Speak up. I'm just guiding him to go say this, but if they forget, hey, I need to reach back out. So I think that a lot of times I've seen some slugs being thrown on the internet toward parents, and it makes parents, especially single parents, question their involvement. And
Mm,
your kid will miss out on something important before committing to a school because they fail to get out an understanding of details.
yeah.
Sometimes this commitment stuff is a paycheck to these guys. The more commitments they get, that's an extra bonus for them. And they know they have no
Mm,
intentions, or there's no room on this roster.
Wow.
Anybody else got any feedback on that?
mm.
For me, and it's sometimes it's kind of iffy, and I definitely understand where you're coming from, and because we have kids that are shy, and then there's kids that are outspoken, but us as moms, I had to learn when my son was high school, it was up to me as a mom to help get my son recruited. Now, once he
Yeah.
got recruited and went off to college, then even when you go call the college, they didn't want to talk to the parents anymore. They wanted to talk to the
Right.
athletes. So I
That's right.
understand they were
Mhm.
ready for them to be an adult, being a person that took ownership of their decision. And I do
Yeah.
understand that. But still, I'm still a mom. I'm still concerned about my child. And even if he is in college and he going through something, me as a mom is still going to be concerned. Now I may, cross the line and be like, okay, my son is experiencing this right now, but I'm just letting you know. And so right now it
Yeah.
is the time for the parents' voice. There's no more for us being shy about speaking about our kid. That
Yeah.
that that day is over. It's been so much
Right.
silence when in times of growing up and kids being
Yep.
molested because silent. That day is over. It's about
Yeah.
speaking out.
And you
And
find out 20 years later this happened to your kid. Yeah. It's time to
yes,
speak up
Yes.
now.
it's time to
Yeah.
speak up now. So it's time. There's no more being intimidated as a mom being able to speak up about their child. And so I just think it's a coach. It's a coach. I mean, that's their issue. I mean, because I did have a coach that kind of thought it was ironic that the coach from a college was talking to me versus talking to them. But I understand protocol and everything. But I'm the one that seeked out the attention to
Yeah.
my son, so he kind of kept talking to me about it. And so, man, that's all kind of little quirky things out there. But I don't think a mom should ever silence themselves.
Yes.
I agree. I agree. I think we should speak our minds. I think we should get involved. Um, I know they have the term helicopter parent, where they don't want you to be too much involved, but we do have to be able to look out for the best interest of our children and make sure that they're not getting abused or mistreated in any kind of way. We have to be able to speak out and speak up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we could probably keep going and on. That would probably be a whole show. But we
Exactly.
have
A whole show.
a guest that's waiting, Miss Briana. She is a young lady who has had her hands in different sectors across sports and education. She's a former college athlete, and she is an advocate for sports equity and inclusion. She's a sports host. And so, you guys, let's welcome to the show Miss Briana. I'm not going to say her last name because I'll probably mess it up.
Dubois, Dubois,
DeBra. Okay, Miss Briana,
Dubois.
welcome to the show.
Yay!
What's up, everybody? My name is Briana DuBose. I had the opportunity to interview some phenomenal women in sports thanks to Black Sports Network. I think you should check it out. Check this reel. Woo, second interview. Let's go. Here I have Ari Chambers. She is a host, a mixed media journalist, and the voice of Bleacher Report's women's platform, Highlight Her. In front of me, I have the Natasha Cloud of the Washington Mystics, their point guard. I have Santia Deck in front of me. If you all do not know, Santia is a female football player for the Women's Football League Association's Los Angeles Fames. You're a brand owner, you're an influencer. This evening, I have Asia Golston of the Jacksonville Jaguars. She is the director of marketing. Brittany Burgess, she's a current assistant coach at Holy Names University in Oakland, California, and she's a filmmaker. She's created this fantastic series called Life After. It's a docu-series basically interviewing former athletes and their experiences, their mental health struggles, everything. I am honored to be here with Shanae Joy Jones, the founder of Grow Our Game NYC. I have Christina Akis with me. She is the VP of Inclusive Diversity at Octagon Sports and Entertainment. D'Amica.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
We're excited
We're
to
we're
have
in
you.
rare form tonight.
Right.
Hey, if y'all would have told me, I would have brought out like my ugly sweater or something. I don't know.
I had to freestyle over here. I'm a Christmas ornament just in case you wonder what is going on with me.
I like it though. I like it. It's unique.
Okay, well, thank you. I feel glamorous.
I told she looked like what
The Statue of
The
Liberty.
Statue of Liberty.
the Liberty, right? Ready for New Year's Eve. So listen, Miss Briana, we normally play a game called Would You Rather. And I don't let me just see. I'll come up with the first question. Y'all ladies, y'all get y'all questions. Let me see. Would you rather be a no. Would you rather eat cabbage or greens?
What type of greens?
Mustard and collard greens.
Probably greens. My mom, she cooks greens every single week, so I grew up with greens in my house. So that's like a no-brainer for me.
So what kind of greens, Brianna?
Usually kale, sometimes mustard greens. It just depends. But yeah, throw some meat in there. Yeah, that was like a staple in my house growing up.
Some turkey wings, some smoked
Exactly.
turkey wings.
Some smoked turkey. You already know.
What about you,
Okay.
Arisha?
So, so I'm asking the would you rather question, right? Mine. Okay. So, would you rather gonna stay in the holiday spirit with this one. Would you rather be a Christmas tree or the lights?
Oh wow. I would totally be the lights because the lights make up the Christmas tree. If you don't have any lights, it's like,
It's just a tree.
what's
Okay,
yeah, it's
good
just a
point.
It's an
tree. It's
evergreen.
just I
Right.
can
Okay.
go outside and look at a tree, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Oh yeah, that's a good answer.
yeah.
Okay.
That's
That is
good.
I'd be the
good. That's
lights.
good.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
the
lights,
lights are the stylists. They make the tree.
they make
Yes.
the
Okay,
tree.
so Brianna, let's see. Would you rather um hmm would you rather be um on a island or in the cold, like in Alaska, snow, or skiing in Colorado?
Oh, definitely an island. Like I love the islands. Like that's my favorite place on earth for real.
So you
No
don't want to be
water
I
all the
got
cold.
you.
way.
You
No,
want to
I
be
Swimming
don't
on
want
the
to
cold.
be
beach,
cold.
the island.
On the
Hmm.
beach, drink in hand, bright sun, white sand, blue, clear blue water. Not, you know, what we got on the East
Hmm.
Coast over here.
Hmm. What's your favorite island?
Um, that I've been to probably Aruba. Aruba was really fun. It was beautiful. The food was
Oh wow.
delicious. Um, it's very diverse there, and
Mhm.
the beaches are phenomenal. So,
Oh
and it's outside the
wow.
hurricane belt, which they tell us all the
Yeah.
time when we were there.
Oh wow. Okay.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Okay.
Aruba.
So let's get into this interview. How about you start out just telling us who you are and what it is that you do?
Sure. I'll try to be as concise as possible, but my name is Briana DuBose. DuBose is how you pronounce it. Everyone always gets caught up on it, and you're like, "Should I say it? Should I?" You know, it's been my entire life, but it's DuBose. So, what I do on a day to day is I'm a management consultant. I work here in the DC area on the East Coast. My firm services clients like across the country from any sector, from like technology to environment and sustainability to government folks, government clients, and that's kind of like my day to day. And then, when I clock out of work, I am well, technically, I'm still clocked in, but my second job is I'm an advisor for Georgetown Sport Industry Management Program, their master's program. So I read a bunch of a bunch of papers. And I guide master's candidates, to graduation and through their, process to get their master's degree. And through their professional goals and what they want to accomplish and so on and so forth. And then the third thing that's kind of been my life is I'm an author, forthcoming author of a book called The ABCs for College Athletes, A Practical
Mhm.
Guide to College Sports. Um, so those three things have pretty much been consuming my life. And then when I have time for it, I will be running Black and Ballin'. That's like my sphere of things that I do. I'm a former Division I athlete. I played women's basketball. Um, I'm not too far removed, but I do tell people that I am retired because my knees tell me that I'm retired. My back
Right.
tells me I'm retired.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, I still love working out and all those cool things, but I am retired and I'm more so on the advocacy side, and pushing for change and equity and all that good stuff in sports. So yeah, that's pretty much what I do in a concise, like packaged version.
That is awesome. I love it. I saw that
Thank you.
you was a published researcher, so you probably like to
Yeah.
read a lot.
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that. I mean, academia is like a whole different like beast. It's a lot of journal articles and just, you're just reading for days and days and days. And so, when I had a chance to publish some research that I did for my master's program, it was really cool. Because it was, it's personal to me.
Right.
It's research that I've done. So, yeah, it's tedious, but it's really rewarding after you're finished.
I love it, the fact that you have a master. I think it's done. You know how he had this cloud about dumb jocks that they only go to school just to play
Mm,
sports type of thing. And
mhm.
so lately, you guys, you athletes are killing it. You're getting your degrees and you're getting your masters.
Masters,
I mean,
doctors.
I just love it.
Mhm.
So can you kind of give us some of your passion behind Black and Ball and where did that come from?
Black and
What was
balling.
it that caused you to just, start doing something like that?
Well, Black and Ballin started over a year ago at this point, almost like a year and a half. So pretty much like around when the pandemic started. I feel like everybody like created some type of side hustle or some type of new brand when the pandemic, started because we were all stuck in the house. But for me, I was reposting a lot on my personal page, and I'm still trying to grapple with like merging your personal page with your business page and trying to like, post a quote unquote exceptional amount and like not blow up everyone's timeline because you're reposting so much stuff. So what ended up happening was a lot was going on in the world with the pandemic, but also with the other pandemic that we were having or are still having, with police brutality and systemic injustices. And for the first time in my life, I was seeing um, athletes speak out in droves, and prominent athletes at that speak out in droves about like, no, this is wrong, like this, we have to take a stand against this, like diversity matters, equity matters, black people matter. um
Mhm.
so I was reposting a lot of that content on my personal page and I was like, okay, let me like find a place where I can house all this so that I can
Right.
like inform people about it because it's phenomenal. I'm like, Michael Jordan's giving money, the NFL commissioner's giving money. People are just
Yeah.
throwing out diversity statements left and right. These organizations that have like zero diversity are like, we value equity and inclusion, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
So it was a huge wave of that. And I created Black and Balling because I was like, I wanted it to be something from my perspective as a black woman and a black, former black female athlete and the experiences that I had, but also to validate and highlight what's going on in the world of sports, through a black lens and all that good stuff. So that's kind of where it started. And then, my inspiration was kind of catapulted when I met with a. So I just got out of grad school and I met with a sports exec at a major sports company. Think like top 5 sports companies in the world. And what ended up happening was he was like, we're on a hiring freeze right now. And, what I look for is when people are in transition or, don't have work or whatever, like, what are they doing on the side? Are they volunteering their time for organizations? Are they creating things? Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, well, shoot, I need to dedicate my time to finding a job, but I could also create something to where I'll have flexibility to do on the side. So, it kind of catapulted from there. And then people started reaching out to me for certain things or to do certain projects like you saw in the beginning. That was a collaborative project with Black Sports Network. And yeah, it's been really cool. It's been a really cool ride. I'm in year 2 of Black and Ballin'. I totally wish I could be on it more. But I've been like, this book has been consuming my life over the past couple of months. But when something big happens, or I just need to chime in on a certain topic that's happening in the college athletic space, that
Yeah.
could help Black athletes, and allies that are for Black athletes in the community, I do it.
Yes, you do. And
So,
so that's where I saw you at. I saw this video and I'm going to share this video. And I'm like, this baby got, she bold. So we're going to share this video real quick for you guys to see it. Let me turn it on. Wait, let me hit the mute button.
Teach young men and women about sex, about dating, what's it like as an athlete, healthy relationships and practices of how to protect yourself. There's a better way than to have someone who's dealing with a really open, very media focused and, could be controversial case, which we don't know anything about because we don't know her personally. There's a better way. And at the end of the day, regardless of who's coming in and speaking, your team doesn't even respect her as a person because immediately when she walked in, they're laughing. they're not focused, they're not giving attention, they're not showing respect, and that speaks volumes. They already made up their minds on how they're going to view her and what she's talking about before she even spoke. So that speaks to your program, and it's kind of messed up, but there's a better way to do it. There's specialists, licensed practitioners that do this stuff. I'm just saying. Dion.
Okay. So that was
Yes.
Coach Prime.
That
Uh, I,
yes.
I saw the young lady that he brought in to his
Mhm.
football team to, and
Mhm.
I went back to look at her page, and I was like, "Ooh, oh,
Yeah.
Hmm.
Mhm.
So you were speaking out to that. What's your thoughts?
Yeah.
When I posted that video, I was just kind of like floored that he would do something like that because I'm like, dang, like I understand. I think it's yeah, I think it is his second year coaching in college. So I'm like, maybe you didn't get the memo, but like this is a reflection of your university. This is a reflection of your program. So it's not even a matter of like who she is, but it's just a matter of timing. And that's what I put in the comments, and I also put it in a follow up. I put it on my story or whatever because Reels only gives me like 60 seconds to like compartmentalize all this, information and blast it out to people. But um ultimately at the end of the day, it's kind of like you don't how can I phrase this? So everybody pretty much watches CNN or knows of CNN, right? And everyone knows what happened with Chris Cuomo and his brother and all of that.
Mhm.
The like universities wouldn't hire Chris Cuomo to come speak to their political assignment or excuse me, political science department right now because it's too hot. And it's like we don't know everything that's the case is still ongoing, you know what I'm saying? So that
Mhm.
was kind of the first thing. So I just felt like what she's dealing with is private and we have no clue, and it's now in the court of public opinion, so everyone has their their take on it, but it's like we have no clue because we don't know her directly, right? And
Right.
so that was the first issue that I had. The second one was that I think there's a better way to deliver pertinent information like this to young adults. I pretty much look at them like little boys. Like, you're basically a kid when you're in college still. You're trying to figure it out. You're still relying on your parents and guardians heavily. Like, there's so much going on. And I mean, shoot, even after graduation, you're still like, what just happened? I need help, So there's a better way to teach young men about dating and about healthy relationship habits and things like that, because I doubt that he even had that conversation with his team. Like, have you talked to your team about safe sex practices? Have you talked to them about balancing platonic relationships? Have you talked to them about not only from a romantic standpoint, but just a respect standpoint, like respecting young women, and like you may have a female boss one day or be working in a female dominated industry, like you have to be able to be in the same space as women. And I didn't like the
Uh-huh.
way that it was framed, because at the end of the day it's like I don't want him to frame it as like all women are trying to trap you, like slow your roll. You're at Jackson, no offense to him, you are at Jacksonville, is this Jacksonville or Jackson State?
Jackson
Jackson
State.
Jackson
State
State.
University. And I don't think a lot of your guys are going to go to the NFL, right? You're building a program up, right? You're building a prominent HBCU up, but the history speaks for itself. Those guys are usually coming from Alabamas of the world, LSU's, the SEC. And so, I mean, other than his own, I think he has two of his children on the team or something like that.
Mhm.
I don't
Mhm.
think that they're worried about women trapping them. They're worried about their future and like, how to
Mm.
balance healthy relationships and how to do like the basics. I'm like, you jump from the basics, which they probably haven't even grasped yet, to flying this woman in who's dealing with a very controversial case that's ongoing. And the last and third or fourth thing that I really didn't like was the fact that they didn't respect her. Like, I have never, all my years of playing, like when a coach brings in a speaker, you are respectful, you're clapping, you're asking questions, you're
Mm.
attentive, you don't just bust out laughing and are hooting and hollering, right? Because in my mind, I'm like, they're just viewing her as one, either a sex object, or
Right.
two, they aren't even taking the information that she's saying seriously. It's going one in ear, it's going in one ear, out the other ear. So that was kind of like the four things that I felt like when I first seen the video. I was like, what is he doing? Like, I think the intent was there. I do think more conversations with student athletes in regards to sex, in regards to relationships, and healthy dating practices is necessary. It needs to happen. But I'm like, dude, there's so many specialists and people that would do this. Better yet, you are a former, very, very like Hall of Famer NFL player. You could have called one of your folks up from the NFL league office and said, "Hey, do you have a player development person that could come speak to my team?" You know, because the NBA
Uh-huh.
and the NFL, they all do this. Like every league does this pretty much, and has people who that's their sole job to come in and say, "We're going to do training on relationships or groupies or fans or whatever, and how to balance all that and life outside of your sport." So he could have easily just like called someone like that, but he didn't. And then like also he made it public. So I'm like, dude, you could have totally done this just under wraps, and nobody would have known, and your team would have had this unique experience, and that's cool. Like there's plenty of stuff that goes on in college sports that just happens like that, but the public never sees it, right?
Right.
But he chose to really hype it up, and it was just like out there. So that's where my reasoning is. And I'm like, man, like the delivery of this was terrible, but like I get it, but it was just bad. Like it just was bad. And everybody had something to say about it. I was like, okay. The only person that I actually responded to was a few colleagues that I have played sports before. So I'm like, if you've played sports, chime in. Like if you've played sports at a high level, one of my friends, he played in the NFL. I'm like, what do you think? So everybody had mixed feelings about it, but I'm like, if you are not an athlete and you're just trying to like instigate on here, I'm not responding to you. But
Right.
yeah, it was interesting.
Mm.
So in elaborate, like I guess I see the side you see as far as it goes. Not to go into a debate or anything,
Mm.
but I think that sometime when it comes to, say, for example, a kid that's constantly getting in trouble,
Mhm.
and so there's somebody who went to prison before versus somebody who never been to prison or jail, whatever it may be, and a person who's never been there that's trying to tell you something that they've never experienced firsthand. They're gonna more likely respect the person who's been through that process. So to me, it was almost like the opposite of what he did. It's almost like, let me show you the predator who was out here to get your money. Let me put you in the mind. Let me show you the mind of a person, if you want to call her a gold digger, whatever, they label her as. So I just kind of took it like, yeah, the way they laughed and stuff, that was a little weird, but I think at the same time we dealing with kids that are still teenagers that
Yeah.
laugh. These are not grown men yet. A lot of people
Mm-mm.
forget that you're in college, you done buffed up, but most of y'all are 17, 18, and 19. You know
Basically,
what I'm saying? So
literally
that's that
teenagers.
childish side of him. But to
Mhm.
me, why not get ahead of it? Let me put you in the mind of how this is going to work. So when it happens, you recognize it.
Mm.
They may come very pretty. I'm going to tell you, my oldest son went to the NFL. He had Eric Williams from the Cowboys and his mentor sit him down and said, let me tell you, he was going to LA. He got drafted to play with the Rams as a free agent. They let him know straight up, when you come out of a practice, it's girls sitting here. When you go, it's a certain bar that they know NFL guys go to. They
Uh,
all right there. This is how they some people's goal is, I'm gonna get me an NFL player.
mm.
So they sat him down and told him this is how it's gonna work. They trying to let you know now, look, I'm trying to save you a trip from getting caught up in some scandal.
Mm.
So if you don't, you know what I'm saying? So to me, I don't know how many people, I didn't ever pay attention to the comments, or I didn't even know it was backlash about the video he put up. I
Mhm.
took it as, you got to show them before they, you know what I'm saying, relationship or whatever. A specialist ain't finna come through there and be able to tell them nothing but what they think or assume.
Mm.
Versus a person who has dealt with it. She's telling you, I'm a snake. I do this. You know what I'm saying? She's telling you the conniving crap that she does. And maybe some of her other people that she run in a circle with. So I took it as like that was a good learning tool for them. And maybe it was handled. I mean, I do think they was a little childish with that other part. I just took it as like somebody gotta tell them because yeah, it's a HBCU that look like kids are not gonna go to the NFL, but they finna go to the NFL with it with Emmett. I mean with Emmett with
Dion.
Dion being there. So more is gonna start coming there. You know what I mean? He
Mhm.
already got the attention on them because of who he is. That school
Mhm.
just in 2 seasons, one was a COVID season, they probably already experiencing that. My son was at A&M and he was a freshman. He was number 18 years old. He had 25-year-old women after him.
Mm.
Before he
Wow.
got out of high school, I found that we talk about it now. It was grown women who were friends, not friends of mine, but like was around our group of boys that was playing, that was trying to get him because they saw a mill. Oh, he going to the NFL.
Mm.
Wow.
So to me, I take it as it seemed kind of crazy, but sometimes they say either experience is your best teacher or somebody who has actually went through that experience. So
Mm.
just kind of looking on the other side of it and not such a bad way. That's the way to look at it as well, because you're right. Some of them guys ain't probably never been through none of that, ain't gonna never see it. But at least if they ever do, they gonna recognize it.
Yeah.
You gotta
I hear you.
you could tell people all day long, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. It's up to them to do it, but at least they know somebody tried to warn them before they did it.
Yeah, that's real. I mean, I'm always down for hearing all sides, all sides.
Yeah.
Um,
Mhm.
ultimately 99% of college athletes don't go on to play professional sports. So it's an extremely small like percentage that's going. And I mean, even when you were talking, it's like your view is like, this woman's coming in and she's showing, exactly step by step what she did to like get PJ.
Finesse these
But
guys. Yeah.
right, 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 right. Did you hear your language though? Like if you ran it back, it was like, dang, but like where's the accountability on PJ's end? You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like I
Mhm.
heard through the grapevine that he was cheating, like he wasn't holding up his end of the bargain. And obviously she didn't get herself pregnant by herself. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So the onus and the victimization is
Accountability.
off.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
always on the
Yeah.
woman. It's like, nah, she
No,
out
I'm
here
not
like
saying that. It's
wilding. You
on
know what I'm
both of
saying?
them. It's on
Yeah,
both
but
of
it's
them,
but
but
the highlight's often on her though,
on her,
you
yeah. So
know?
I
Yeah.
It's
do see the
often
point
on
that
her. And
they
it's
always want to blame the
yeah.
woman. Oh, she just want clout and all that. I hate that. No,
Yeah,
I'm
and it's
definitely
like,
not for that.
yo, it's like these dudes, yes, you need to understand what's coming to you, but you also need to have some boundaries. You need to understand
Because it's
how
not
to
just on one
navigate
piece.
these situations. You can
Hmm.
say no, right? You
Yeah, it
you
take
they
two
don't just
people
Yes.
to
leap,
agree.
right?
Yeah.
They don't just leap up in your bed and you and 9 months later a baby ends up happening. So,
Yeah.
um it's
Yeah.
it's a tricky situation.
Yeah.
I do think in some cases shock therapy, or just exposure there. I don't know what the proper terms is, but
Yeah.
just kind of bluntly saying stuff will stick in, especially in kids' minds, like a little bit longer. But
Hmm.
um they should have balanced that out and or kept it private because it just didn't look really good.
It wasn't a good look.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. What you got, Carmen?
Well, I wanted to ask you some more about the black and balling. Like, what kind of content, like, what when we go, like,
Mhm.
what kind of things can we see there?
On Black and Ballin',
Mm-hmm.
if I reflect back on my past year, usually I do content in a rotational. So I take a holistic perspective and I'll be like, okay, this week I'm going to do content on career development for athletes, or this week I'm going to talk specifically about race and gender equity in sports. And then maybe the following week I'm doing content in regards to athlete transitions and balancing life after sports or something like that. So I usually do it in a rotational. As of late, I've been more so commenting on kind of what's going on in the sports space, and then dropping some nuggets of just
Wisdom.
guidance or whatever I can give. Yeah, nuggets of wisdom, some
Hmm.
guidance, because like I said, what's been taking up most of my time has been this book. So my rotational has been a little bit off, but I was like, I got enough content on there, people can go back and watch it. But yeah, it's usually something around there, and sometimes I usually will speak specifically to black athletes, and I'm just like, this is what you need to be doing. This is some advice that you can take with you. Anything that is short, and I can just say it, and they'll receive it.
So
So
tell us
tell us
about
a
the
little
book.
bit. Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. That's what I was going to say. And how did you come up with the name ABCs?
Yes.
Right.
Oh,
ABCs.
yes, that's my book right on the screen.
Yeah.
Um,
That's my
I
book.
actually have it right next to me. Yeah, I have a proof copy next to me. I'm like going over it, literally as we speak, going over it and before it's officially out. But I came up with the book about a year and some change ago. Um, I just when I did a like brief search on the internet, I was like, why isn't there a guide out there for athletes? Like, why isn't there some type of blueprint, some type of landscape overview of what's to come, what to expect? Um, I didn't see any of that. I saw usually when I Google like went on Amazon, I was like, oh, I'll see athlete transition stories of people, this is what happened to me in college. These are some life lessons that came of it. Maybe I'll see athletes in money or athletes in career development, but it's usually like a one-off. Like it doesn't encompass everything. And so I was like, okay, let's make a simple guide. And everybody knows ABCs 1, 2, 3. From childhood, right? These aren't your average
Yeah.
ABCs. These are, I go into some pretty mature topics, but I wanted to keep the book concise. I wanted to make it practical. I wanted people to say, like, oh, this is thought provoking. Like, maybe I should ask my coach about this, or I had never thought about it that way. Like, I didn't even know graduate assistantships were available if I go look for them, or, maybe I should take my health a little bit seriously because I get one body and they're trying to push me to perform so much that I'm hurting myself.
Right.
So just little things like that. I just wanted to impart some knowledge, because at the end of the day, you get one body, and these coaches will run it into the ground if you're not careful. And so, I wanted to make this information accessible. I was like, if an athlete has nobody to guide them, no help, no nothing, then how can they still get some points across and still be able to navigate this really tricky situation? If
Yeah.
you got $20, here you go. At
Right.
least you'll be well on your way, whether you're entering in, whether you're already in it and you're like, what, I need to change up some things and really reassess, or you're transitioning out from college. This book is kind of just going to help you.
That's
Yeah.
good.
That's
So
good.
when is it coming out, and how can people purchase the book?
Well, it is coming out at the top of the new year. I had to push back the date a little bit. My publisher is experiencing some delays, but it's going to come out at the top of the new year, and I'll formally announce like a date. Yeah, it's on it's on my website. You can find out more there, and get more information about the book, and order your pre-order copies and all that good stuff.
Cool.
Great. Tell us one nugget. Give us one little nugget from the book. One little nugget.
Oh, should I read like an excerpt from the book?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right. One of my favorite chapters is the health chapter because this was a big one for me. I had to get knee surgery and I had a bunch of, well, not a bunch, but I had 2 season ending injuries.
Wow.
And a lot of times, college coaches are constantly pushing you past your limits and you don't even realize it because you're young. So this is from Health, the chapter H. And I say, imagine you're a car, an expensive car in an expensive lot. You're in an elite percentage, basically an exclusive Ferrari. Everyone knows cars need to be maintained. In the same way, finding a mental health therapist or doing some extra physical therapy for your body will only help you be more efficient as an elite athlete. Maintenance, we're talking about maintenance. If you run a car into the ground, it will no longer work. Ignoring flashing warning lights, not getting tires changed after a certain mileage, or neglecting to get an oil change are decisions that have a consequence. The car will not run. In the grand scheme of being an athlete for your school, they bring in new Ferraris just like you every single year. One of your coaching staff's main responsibilities is recruiting, bringing another you or an even better you into the program the following year. When you've run up your mileage or acquired some dents and dings along the way, the school will always go out and get another car. Always. The cycle will continue whether you're there or not. Remember, you are part of a business. Where do old cars go? You know where they go. They get discarded for something new or traded in for something that runs more efficiently. 99% of college athletes do not go on to play professional sports. 99%. Advocate for yourself.
Wow.
Wow,
That's
that's
Good.
good.
well, you
That's
made a good
good.
point
That's
about that.
good.
They'll go find another you, whether you're there or not. It's a business.
Mhm,
Yeah,
mhm.
Somebody
And
just
you
got
go
off the
to the
phone with my son and
junkyard.
said that. Like he
Mhm,
literally.
literally, before I got on the podcast, a phone call came in from a former Cowboys player to have a
Hmm.
conversation with my son. And he talked about, look, and it was a post speaking of Dion that he had posted and said, we know you guys have options. It
Hmm.
sounds great. You guys have options in the portal right now, but don't play too long because these coaches have options too.
For
And
mhm,
so
sure.
he told my son that thought because he just posted his offer and stuff. He said, whatever you do,
Hmm.
get in that portal and get out of it. He said
Mm-hmm.
because
mhm.
they're holding up a spot, whether it's a walk on, whether it's a scholarship, get in there and get out. Because once bowl games are over, it's gonna go. It's crazy now, but it's gonna
Hmm.
Yeah.
be even more crazier. He said, make don't play around with this decision. You know,
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's real. I wish I had the portal when I was in
I'm
college.
telling you.
Man,
Yeah.
it's a whole different ball game now. I'm like,
And
you
the
kind
real
of
tricky
you
part
reclaim a
about
little
it
bit of
is
party.
it's a business because soon as he
Hmm.
posted his offer a while ago, he'd been having that offer 4 weeks. He finally
Hmm.
offered, he had posted, there's been a little miscellaneous and toying around and nobody ever pulled his trigger. But soon as he posted it, now his inbox is blowing up
Wow.
with
Mhm.
coaches. I don't understand that. It's like they want to see who's gonna,
Hmm.
I don't know.
Who's gonna offer
Yeah.
first?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I hear you.
it's a business. Who
It
can get the
is.
Hmm.
best athlete first, or what is the big deal about this athlete? Let's try to pull him from here. So
Hmm.
Wow.
Hmm.
Wow. Well,
yeah.
we know that you're on the East Coast, and we don't want to keep you up
Oh
too much
yeah.
longer.
I forgot
But
about
we
that.
want to just thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having
Tell
me.
people how they can find you, where to go follow you at, so they'll be able to see the notification when you say my book is ready. Tell them
Right.
how they can get in contact with you.
Sure. Well, my website's down there and it has all my social media on it and my LinkedIn. So if you want to like talk anything professionally or like want to hear more about the work that I do, hit me up on LinkedIn. Because a lot of times messages get kind of weird on Instagram and you're like, who is this person? What do they want? What's going on? What's their message request? I will be announcing the book on Instagram at Briana L. DuBose and on Black and Ballin. So yeah, all the stuff that's been posted like in this video you'll be able to find me, and I'll see it. So
All
thanks for
right.
having me. Thanks for having me. I
Thank
love this is great.
Thank you. Now, how did your mom participate with you in sports? How was your mom? How important was it to have parents to
Mhm.
support
Oh
you?
man, my mom. So my mom is an academic. She so she was a big stickler on like what school are you going to? Does the coach have your best intention? She was asking all the tough
Mhm.
questions.
That's what
And I was like,
it's
"Mom,
about.
don't say anything. Don't say anything. Why are you doing this?"
Why
And
not?
when
What?
when I reflect back on it now, I'm like, yeah, I mean, what she was doing made complete sense, but I was just so like just focused on getting the scholarship and maintaining eligibility and all this other stuff that I was like, don't mess
Hmm.
with my chance of playing time. What you doing?
Yeah.
Asking
Right.
these questions, but it's like you should be able to ask questions. It's your
Without being
future.
Mhm.
penalized. Yeah,
Yeah,
there
you
you
should be able
go.
to ask questions without being penalized. Yeah, my mom is still everything in my life. and still is
That's
guiding me.
good.
She's like, yo, volume 2 of this book needs to be the parents edition. So I may have
Yes.
to call y'all up and be like, y'all trying to chime in on this book. Because she's like, I'm still traumatized from this experience. I'm like, you're traumatized? You went through a lot? I was there.
Oh, she's traumatized.
Yeah, she was just like, that process was crazy, and just, all the
Man.
things that you go through, and what you see. I'm a first generation athlete, so not the
Mm.
first in my family to go to college, but like the first to kind of compete at a division
And
1 level. And it's like,
oh wow.
my parents had no clue, like no
Wow.
clue
Yeah.
at all what
What
all goes into it,
first red
what
rodeo?
question
Yeah.
yeah, what questions to ask, how these coaches be playing games, what the
Yeah.
transfer process is like, all that stuff. So
Hmm.
yeah, it was a learning curve for everybody, but yeah, she's trying to get in on the second volume of the book.
That's right. Tell her, come on. We need some more sports moms to be on the show. She could be
We
one of
sure do.
our commentators. So,
Yes.
She'd love to talk to y'all.
so
Hmm.
come on. Next season, we're gonna probably come back in March of next year for the season 3, and so we are looking
Okay.
for other sports moms, and so she's welcome to come because we want to be able to have them all around, so they
Mhm.
can
Absolutely.
Right.
feed
That'll be
back into
good.
their community.
Hmm.
Absolutely. I'll definitely mention to her.
Yeah.
But this was great. This was fantastic. It was great chatting with you all.
Thank you. We
Thank you
enjoyed
so
you.
much. Thank you
We
so much.
appreciated you,
I love your
Brianna.
personality.
I loved the book. When I'm looking for a good book, I'm looking for, does it read smoothly? Is it something I
Mhm.
can get through quickly? Does it?
Mhm.
And your book covered all of those things. So you guys get the book. I'm sure it's going to be good information in there. So
Thank
Yes.
you. Thank
absolutely.
you.
Yeah.
I that was one of my biggest things. I was like, I want this to be like a quick read, one that's informative, and one that
Yeah.
doesn't like have your brain working
Mhm.
too hard. Like, I want you to
Yeah.
be able to scribble in the
Exactly.
margins,
Words
take
I have
plenty
to
of
stop and
notes.
I
look
know
up.
that's right.
I have
That's
to
Yeah,
stop
good.
and
I'm
look
gonna
like,
up the
share it. I can't
words.
wait till you post it. I'm definitely gonna
yeah.
share it.
Yes.
And
Thank
it was
you. I need all the help I can
relatable.
get. Woo. I need all the help I
Share,
can get. So
retweet, repost. I'll do the whole nine because I like what you said
Yes.
on there, especially that segment you read. A
thank
lot of
Hmm.
you.
people need to be informed about that. That was really, really good.
Yeah.
Thank you. I
Yeah.
appreciate it. I'm excited
We
to
could
launch it
all
in the world.
relate to a car going to, the used car lot
You already
after,
know.
or the junkyard.
In the
We can
junkyard.
all relate to that. So,
Yep,
yeah,
you know
that's
it
all
gets
nice.
discarded. It's over. It's done. You already know. It's when I was just kind of running through which type of analogy I wanted to put for that, I was like, boom, car. You come
Car.
in
Right.
fresh, they run that car those miles up. You get some
Mm-hmm.
dings along the way, and they're like, "Ooh,
Yeah.
either you're gonna get discarded or they're gonna trade you in with a transfer coming in, right?
Right.
Transfer to
Right.
this
Mm-hmm.
spot
Oh,
is
right.
over."
Newest model.
Yeah.
Exactly. You already know.
That's
So,
good. And so those miles start when you start teaching your kid at an early age because you talk about burnout and all that kind of stuff. So if you start your kid at 9 on a particular
mm,
sport, those miles are adding up, adding up. So wow, that's
yeah,
good.
you're putting on a lot of mileage. And to
Yeah.
the parents that want to have their kid in at like age 5, like, just make sure that they're playing other sports too, because if you were constantly working the same muscles over and over again, it could lead to
Mm-hmm.
injuries. If you've been
Yeah.
playing and doing the same thing for 20
Ev-
years, you
yeah.
know, it can really, really, really impact your health. People are like, "You're so young." I'm like, "Yo, but I've been played sports almost 20 years of my life. That means I was close to retirement if it was actual job, So
Yeah.
Right,
it is
right.
what it is. So
All right. Well, we enjoyed you. Thank you so much, and we really appreciate it. And so maybe after you could release your next book or do another
I'm trying to get
controversial
this one off
post.
the ground.
Right.
Well,
I'm trying
go
to get this one off the ground.
see like if you could go to every high school and see if you could get the coach to buy it just to have it as a resource for athletes to read.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So it
I'm gonna
seems like it would
start.
be something like that.
Yeah, I'm starting right. My outreach is starting right here in the DMV. There's a lot of really good local high schools and colleges in the area, and be like, hey, you need a copy of the book, or you're trying to, get your athletes, copies of the book or whatever. So,
Right. That'd be good.
Yeah.
yes.
Yes. All
Absolutely.
right. All right. Thank you so much. Bye
Thank
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 bye.
you.
you,
you.
Thank
Brianna.
you.
It has been a pleasure.
Yes.
Absolutely. Karen, Carmen, Arisha, thank you so much.
You're
You're
welcome.
welcome. You're
You're
All
welcome.
right. Good
so
night.
welcome.
Good night, everybody.
All
Good
right. Good
night.
night.
Enjoy the holidays.
Yes.
She was
Well,
amazing.
she was. She was, especially her calling out Dion. Coach Sanders,
Hmm.
come
Hmm.
on. You could have did it a little bit better than this. She was bold.
I didn't even get to see that at first, yeah, until we did this podcast. But yeah, I didn't realize they had gotten backlash on that. I guess I didn't go into the comments and look and see that people had like mixed. I guess
Yeah.
everybody got
Emotions
their
about it.
opinions and how, yeah, and that's
And
fine
I didn't
because,
know who that girl was. I don't know what controversial thing that was out
I
about her.
I happened to just see her floating around on because I didn't really know who she was either until I saw, how sometime in some training, like on the shade room, they may post some and they say so and so did this or finesse some kind of basketball. And I didn't even know her then. And I'm like, who is this female? And so I kind of went, because they tag you, go to the page and I see it, but I'm like, where did she come from? You know what I'm saying? I didn't,
Yeah.
but she's
Hmm.
obviously Instagram knowable. So I wasn't familiar with her at all. I still ain't. I just know her from that now, from
Right.
the not the Dion thing, but slightly. Had I not saw the other post about whatever her and her baby's dad is going through, the NBA player, then I wouldn't have even known who that was that he brought in there.
Oh,
But
okay. See, I
that's a
didn't know
form
any of
of how
that.
they do, I guess, or whatever. But again, she make a point. It take two of them,
Yes.
So
Hmm.
whatever he did something to cause whatever thing. It ain't just on her either. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. So you guys done your Christmas shopping yet?
Yeah, I'm pretty
No.
done. I think I got one or two things left to get. I got done early. Baby, my
Oh,
kids ain't babies no more. Only one get all the stuff is little baby.
your
And I got
grandbaby.
her out the way. Her mama really getting it going. So I'm like, good. But she got
Oh,
a birthday coming February, so she have more stuff in February, right
oh,
after.
all right.
Yeah.
Well,
Mm.
you guys,
Not
thank you
me.
so much. Oh, what? What you
Not
what you
Carmen
me.
is
get?
I'm not.
guilty over there.
I'm not even close. Like,
She
Me
talking about
either.
she
mm-mm.
feel bad. She knows she's supposed to have had this
I
done.
haven't bought one thing yet.
My job. I see my job. Like up until last Tuesday, like I didn't have any free time. Any
I ain't
free
been
time.
nowhere either.
So,
I just did it online
mm-mm.
because I'm
No.
crazy
But I
busy.
mean, my job. I couldn't. I mean, the way my job is, like during the enrollment season, like I was working 12-hour days on and Saturdays and just didn't like I can't like go and get on the computer, do something else while I'm
Yeah,
on
because
the
it
phone
takes
with
time.
no.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
it's
might just have
yeah.
to balance you a day out and say, okay, today this is what I'm gonna do.
Yes.
That's what I
I'm gonna
have to.
do
I'm
it
not gonna
today.
lie. That is
Yeah.
how I did it. I put the sewing machine up early, and for about
Mhm.
2 nights straight, I made myself put it all to the side. Don't mess with nothing, and I like either shut it down early or just didn't bother with it. And I took out the time. Like on top of that, I usually pay my bills soon as they're done, and then I start realizing, girl, you was doing this stuff. You ain't even taking out the time to pay these online bills, and
Mhm.
I have to make myself do it, and that's what you're gonna have to do. And see,
Yeah.
Mhm.
you know what? You're supposed to be preaching this to me. But somebody preached it to me. So I'm gonna tell you, it don't matter. Look, take out the time, give yourself a day or
Mhm.
two to take a break or just to shut down early
Yeah.
to get
Mhm.
it done. If you
Yeah.
gotta do 1 day or 2 days, shut it down early, like way earlier before you get
Yes.
sleepy. You have to.
Yeah.
Mhm. And just
That's
do it. Yeah.
that's mommy advice. Okay, you
Yes.
Mhm.
guys. Let's we thanks again everybody for tuning in for season 2 of Can We Talk Sports. We are going to have a couple more videos that we're going to show next week. But thanks again. We really appreciate you guys. We could not do it without you guys liking and sharing this video. We really appreciate it. And we will see you guys next year.
Next year, Merry Christmas and a Happy New
Happy
Year.
Merry Christmas.
holidays. Merry
Yes.
Christmas.
Merry
Happy New
Merry
Christmas.
Year
Christmas.
from Can We Talk Sports?
Yes.
Signing out, Icy, aka Icy Fashion.
Carmen, aka Mama D.
And Karen Reese, that cake dog. That cake dog. All
Bye,
right,
you
you guys.
guys.
Goodbye.
Bye, you
Merry
guys.
Christmas.
Let's go.